Hi everyone, I'm Yassir ALHAMDANY. I'm survey engineer from Iraq. I'm working in an oil company. I will hope to start my master degree in the University of Nottingham next September. So I choose topic related to my discipline, engineering surveying with urban planning. So for that reason, my title is The Power of Engineering Surveying to Facilitate Effective Urban Planning. So let's start. First of all, I need to ask you some questions. Did you hear anything about engineering surveying, or do you have any knowledge about it or not? So that's okay. Okay, another question. Did you use, for example, hard copy maps or GPS?
Of course.
Of course. So, excellent. For what reason did you use it?
Navigation.
Okay. So these two products are facilities invented by engineering surveying. And if you hear in the past about the ancient surveyors, which is called Ferdinand Magellan, or in Portuguese Fernando Magalhães, or Christopher Columbus, those two scholars are the ancient surveyors which discovered the other part of the world. So I show you now a picture that give you a little bit information about survey engineers. These two pictures illustrate the engineers, survey engineers. This guy used this device which is called theodolite or total station, and these two guys are using a very sophisticated GPS system. So let's to start to enter directly to my outline. I'm going to talk today about engineering surveyors in scientific way and what do surveyors do. Also, I'll give you a brief summary about urban planning and the needs for contemporary cities and towns. Then I'll cover the important role of engineering surveying in urban planning. After that, I'll give you I'll talk about the positive impact of urban cities in the environment. Finally, I will cover the conclusion. So, what is engineering surveying in scientific terms? Engineering surveying is a science and technique that make measurements and map the phenomena of the Earth, of the surrounding environment, by use mathematical calculations or specific technology or technical equipment. This video will show you the important role of the surveyors and how, if I say it in another word, what do surveyors do? think now you've got an idea about what's engineering surveying. So now I'm going to talk about the urban planning. Urban planning is a type of the plan which is designing, sketching, arranging, implementing and planning cities and towns in effective way and provide solution for these cities, providing a solution for problems that the existing cities suffered from these problems. In simple word, urban planning is designed a city in effective way by providing stylish buildings and enormous number of well-planned roads and providing very important services for the people. So I will show you a number of pictures that maybe lead your things about urban planning and what's the urban planning mean. So the first picture here, can you guess this picture for which city?
In Europe?
That's right, in Europe.
Switzerland.
Switzerland in Europe, of course. But you can't guess in which country, for example?
In Britain?
UK.
UK?
In the UK, that's right. This is called Milton Keynes. Milton Keynes city is an ideal example for urban planning, which is located in Buckinghamshire. And if you look at, you can see the distribution of green places in this city and the well designed of the road, sometimes called MK with rectangular outline. So you can see the well designed of this city, different than the other city. And this is another picture, another aerial image in the night, which is show you the spread of light in this city, which is cover all the places in day or in the night. Then I will show you the opposite example for another city. This city in developing countries. You can see now the dark road here. That means the light didn't spread in these places. So this is not good example for well-planned city. Also, I need you to guess another thing from this image. Can you guess this image for which city also? It's also a well...
Europe.
No, Europe.
Europe.
In UK somewhere?
In the UK.
Yes, UK.
This is Nottingham City.
Oh.
So this city is also a well-designed city, good design of urban planning, and you can see the distribution of green places and the light will spread in every place because the famous UK and United States planners goes with the rectangular builds or rectangular design, not with the vertical design.
The collective
Yeah. So after that, I will tell you about the important role of survey engineers. Survey engineers have had a highly contribution in establish of any urban cities from the first point to the infinity. So they started to investigating and counseling the master plan, which is a big map of the city in the paper with the planners and with the developers. Then they started, so this discussion makes sometimes a conflict between engineering surveyors and the other department or disciplines. Then the second thing that the surveyors contribute on it, selecting and preparing sites, which is provided by highly accurate information taken from space image and aerial photos and also GPS coordinate system. Also, they related in starting infrastructure and construction, engineering surveyors contribute with the others discipline of engineering like electrical and civil engineers to establish these types of infrastructures. Then engineering surveying have a good finishing touch in urban cities. The surveyors calculate the deformation in roads and buildings, existing roads and buildings in urban cities. Also, engineering surveying management make a management system with the cities from the master plan, from the first point to forever, because they contribute with everything in designing of the buildings. The positive effect of urban cities are, as you saw in the pictures of Milton Keynes and Nottingham City, the urban planning supported by specific planners and surveyors tend to design open places. Then by this way they preserve the green spaces by provide recreational park and aware about the absorption of the green places and the countryside. Also, they're providing essential services like water supplies and electricity, and also finally producing alternative solution for earth pollution. Like you are here in the Nottingham City, you can find recycled basket for the waste. This is help cities to reduce the pollution in the environment. So the urban planning is an important role that supported the environment. This picture show you the green places in. To be honest, I'm not biased, but this picture also in the UK. So this is show you the important factor of open spaces and recreational park, and even sometimes affected the psychological aspects of the people. So my conclusion, and I have some recommendation. Engineering surveying have an important role to play an important role to construct a healthy to construct cities with a healthy environment, and engineering surveying contribute in any construction project. So surveyors with engineering surveying, life without limits, because you can do everything with the surveyors. Also, urban planning are the best future for the best life, because they provided a sophisticated services for the people, and they are aware about the the ecosystem of people lifestyle. Also, urban cities play a an important role in the environment, because it's an ideal solution for earth pollution. For that reason, in terms of the theme of this course about the power, engineering surveying have a capability to design and establish any effective project in the world. And there is a famous planner from the USA, said, it's called Jordanian, said, I occasionally heard someone say that urban planning isn't rocket science. My reply, you are right, is it a lot more complex. So the urban planning is the important thing in the world, and it's not easy to do these types of cities and towns. This is my list of references. I hope you get good information about engineering surveying and urban planning, and thank you very much for listening to me. If you have any questions, I'm ready to answer these questions.
Questions for Yassir?
You don't have any questions?
That's clear enough.
Understand anything?
Yassir, can you just go back to your conclusions?
Yeah, of course. Yes?
To what extent do you think that the environment is playing a part in urban planning? I mean, do you think that governments are making it a significant enough priority for urban planners? Because I presume it varies from country to country,
Yeah, of
the
course.
extent to which urban planners are controlled by environmental
Yeah.
concerns. Do you think generally it's enough, or do you think we still need to be considering the environment more?
Yeah.
for urban planning?
Of course, you know, urban planning is a massive project, so they need a support from urban cities. Sorry, they need support from the government much more than the individuals. So I think it depends on the countries, because from my study in this research, I think especially in the European countries and the UK, the level of urban planning is very good, and they are the governments, individuals, organizations aware about the environment and have an idea about the important role of urban planning and to support the environment. So I think so.
But it's less so in other countries.
Yeah, I think because it depends. So you find, and as you see from the example of two pictures, the differences between Milton Keynes, or the comparison between Milton Keynes and the other cities.
What was that other city? Do you know?
Yeah. I didn't tell it because I thought it's sensitive, but this is city in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Mexico. So you find, even I focused in some, but the time of the presentation maybe didn't help me, but I also focused on sometimes in Gulf countries. For example, you find very well modern buildings and cities and sometimes sophisticated design, but there is a lack, we called it in engineering surveying, there is a lack in the green field. They didn't support the green field, just build a high buildings, and even this is prevent the light to spread in the city. So this is also affects the people's health. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Okay, you said surveying engineers are from, they are existed from long time here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, why is the planning for in Arab countries, the planning for the cities in Arab countries is not that great? Bad planning for the airfield.
Yeah, because this is, you know, this is sometimes affected by unsuitable security situations, and sometimes affected about the clear knowledge for the urban planning, because maybe other peoples understand the urban planning, or other countries understand urban planning by provided highway roads, very sophisticated buildings, and very effective services, but for example didn't aware about the environment aspect or about the green places. How can you didn't how can you build a city without observe the countryside or rural places? And you find good examples of these cities in the, for example, United Arab Emirates, but in small scale, not in large scale, like in Europe or in the UK, for example.
We have to stop there, I'm
Yeah.
afraid. So thank you very much.
Thank you.